Interesting, just the way the interest rates keep on jumping at one moment, and then like an hour later they drop down again, and it goes back and forth. So there it is, dollar index right there. You can see it's up in the 103s. I guess we got down to the 101s or one evens even. You can see it right there. This is a hinky ashky, of course, but still, it was down in the ones and change. You can see the strength trying to kick out here. This is the weekly. And let's put the daily in there like so. And there's the daily. And over here on the, where's it, Mr. Mouse again? Right there. I'll just move that over just a little bit, like so. There we are. Just right there so you can see the numbers at the same time. And we were looking yesterday the way we were moving that around a little bit like that. There we are. There's the J4X. So the let's make that come over more. Come on, no, it doesn't want me to do that. Why is that? So you can see here on the daily, let's make it a little bit wider then. Instead of, like you can see here, we're in a buy for the last 2 days, yesterday and today. And actually, now that I look at it even closer, we were in the buy, and this was a red and green, I guess it was back then, and then we went back into the buy again. So it was never out of it. I think it might have gone into the sell for a day right there, and then we're back into the buy. You can see red and green there. So it's been in a buy for this is the 4th day in a buy. Okay. Now, yeah, right there. Okay. And then let's make this bigger-ish. And there's the daily. Yeah, it's doing the same thing on there. You can see it's a bunch of greens, goes into a sell, back in the, and the problem, I guess you could say, it's not really in the buy because we got the line underneath, and it's trying to curve again. It's so tight. It's, again, these markets don't really have a very comfortable level. Hey, Robin, how you doing? So 15 is gone, right? This morning was, excuse me, was the last. Oh, let's see. I'm not even hearing the sound. Let me see. Let me just double check the sound compared to yesterday. It was like, oh. Let's see there. Let's find the sound again. There it is. There's the sound. Oh, sound. There we are. There we go. Okay, good. There's the sound. Okay, I don't hear any astro cosmological stuff in the background, so that's good. No astro cosmological stuff. Yeah. There we go. All right. Yeah. So you can see there on J4X, it's kind of bouncing around, trying to get. Oh. There we are. Okay. Perfect. All right. Now let's jump over to the euro. See what the euro is up to this morning. So, the dollar index, you can see right here, like we have on Chicago Quant, and you can see over here, like we have on, come on, give it to us, right there. You can see on, make it bigger again. Let's make this bigger. Why is it giving us that issue there? There we go. That's better. That's better. You see, that's doing the same thing. It's got that plateau type of thing going on sideways, like we have it here. So it's indecision. At the same time, we're going into the weekly buy here. Same situation over on J4X. It's cruised into this is the second week for its buy right there. You see that it's trying to jump up. There's Metho. Oh, and thank you, Robin. And there's the Metho. Hey, Metho. Good morning to you. Good afternoon, and possibly even good evening. So yeah, it's and then if we go over and take a look at bonds, you're going to see the same odd situation. It's like a bottoming plateau. They're all kind of trapped in that area where you can see that it's trying. You can see that it is trying. But and it's hard to believe interest rates are going to really move much more. The interpretation afternoon, that's even better. Heading towards as adult beverage time of the day. Whereas I am just sipping my tea. Yeah, you can see. You know, they don't. I really have a hard time believing we're going to see 6%. Palladium, please. Sure. Let's check out the palladium. It's been going down the last couple of days. Let's see right there. And there's the palladium. It's been in a sell now for, what is that? I think that goes back one more day, like right there. There we are. So it's 2, 4, this is the 5th day down. It has fallen from the 1650-ish area down to the 1450-ish area. So that's not too bad, huh? That's a $200 drop. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. And at the same time, you can see here, we're in the weekly sell, for 4 full weeks now. And the fast-moving stochastic broke down first, but they did it together. They did do it together, and the end result is that the fast and the slow algorithms both broke down, and they're both the same. They're both the same type of stochastic. It's not a slow and a fast. This is a 5 algo, and this is a 3, the dashed line. So they both put that pressure on it instantly. And the fact that it bounced, the slow bounced and hit the time manifold and dropped again is even more bearish. And even now, when looking at the fast can't even get through the manifold. And that's not, that tells you that there's more pressure on the product. Let's see. Oh, Metho says the biggest downswing in metals, I think. Oh, it could be. I think we looked at platinum. Platinum also took a smack over the last. Let's see, where's platinum at? There's platinum. And platinum did the same in the same rhythm, I guess you could say. A little bit. I guess you could say that's back on the second. So it was trading at where was that? That was like 10,030. You know what that was? 10,000. No, I'm sorry. 977. That's what that was. 977. 10,030. 977. And now we are at 927. So yeah. No, wait a minute. Something's wrong there. That's got to be 1,000. Yeah, it's 1,000. That's 1,031. Yeah, that's where I got 10,030. Yeah, so it's 10. It was 1,031, and it's dropped $100. That same action there. You see it. Did the $100 drop, and then gold. Let's see what gold did. You want to see what the gold did? We can try to see if that matches up as you're looking for. I look at the Corona dip. Only palladium is nearly there, huh? The Corona dip. I don't know what the Corona from the Corona, like from the sun. You mean from that blast when someone published something that said that a piece of the sun fell off or something like that. Yeah, I know that the metals market can react very well to. I remember, was this? I can. Crawford, was it? There was this one, back in the 1980s and 90s and turning of the century, and Crawford might even be around now. It was big on the astronomy, the sun and that at the same time. Let's see, March of 2020. Oh, let's take a look at that on J4X. J4X is really good about going back and looking, and that's what's neat about it. All right, so let's go over there. We'll put gold in there, right there, and then we're going to go into a weekly and make it the whole screen. Let's see, there's 220. So you had this nice rally in 220, March of 220. Yeah, I guess that's March, isn't it? Right around there. That's November. There's September. There you go. There's June. There's March. No, that's 19. Is that 19? No, that's it. That's it. 20. No, here it is. That's it right there. So, coronavirus. I don't relate to that thing so well. I got you. Corona. I really don't. You could ask Robin if I'm, teasing you. I really don't relate to the coronavirus situation more than just. I just think of it as the flu. I don't really think of it as anything more than that. Yeah, I Corona dip. I was like, oh, what's he talking about? We just had a blast from the sun. Could it be that he's talking about? To me, Corona, as far as I'm concerned, is the sun. Uh, yeah, so I see what you're saying. Yeah, there's the dip there in March of 20. And where'd it come from? It came from the 15 area, 14 and a half area. Okay. Yeah, I don't. I'm a simple. I can tell you, I am a simpleton at times. Palladium is the only metal I know which costs nearly the same. Okay. I don't think we can get palladium up on J4X though. Interesting. So it was that in that area. Interesting. I think I can get something like that. Let's see. Now it looks like palladium chart. Yeah. Um. You know, the whole, with the invasion in Central Europe and China being China, and I just saw the numbers this morning. We have a trade deficit with them of like $375 billion. I mean, who wouldn't want that with us? In the United States, we bought $153 billion worth from stuff from them, and I'm sorry, sold. They bought from us 153. Most of that's like agriculture, and like pork and stuff like that. And then they sold us like 500 and some odd billion in whatever, plastic spatulas, plastic dog poop. I don't know what do they sell us? I guess everything. I guess cell phones and things like that. And so yeah, it's a yeah. There's a reckoning coming. They're crazy. I don't understand why they keep on trying to think that they're going to dominate the planet. All they're going to create is a big mess. As we take a sip of our tea, since it's the morning here. But yeah, all right, I get it. Yeah, that's something. Um, yeah, let me see if I can find something else here. I have another charting thing. Let's see if I can find uh, palladium up on that. Let's see. Don't even know. Let's see. What's the symbol on that? PL. PL. Where's it at? The symbol is. But that's. Let's go back to palladium. Right there. So there's palladium, and the symbol is what is that? PA. All right. So let me see if I can put PA futures contract in this website I've been using lately. I hadn't used it in years, and I put it up on the machine. Let's see, PA. Let's see if they give it to me. Palladium. I think I did putting them. No, okay. So that's the stock side of it. I'm trying to find the future side of it. Prime. Let's see. Watch list. No thanks. We'll see if we can do that tomorrow. But yeah, I would love to take. Yeah, how about that? Palladium. So palladium is basically XPD. I know you're talking to. Sometimes I can be very simple in the head. I know that looks familiar, but I'm not sure what XPD is. Is that a stock? Should I put that in? Let's see. Let's see what XPD is. XPD. Enter. That is. What are you? High cap? Oh, that's like. Looks like the Russell. It's like a Russell 1000, isn't it? XPD. I can put that in there. You want to see that on the chart? I can go in and put that in there. That's no problem. Let's go open something up where we can put it. My chart at XPD goes to 2020 at Ducascopy. Oh, it does have a. What's the symbol for palladium? Do they have palladium? Is that the symbol XPD? Let me try it on Ducascopy. All right. So I go right there. Right there. X, no, Z. XPD. So there's no symbol. XPD is a symbol. On Ducoscopy? Oh, there it is, right there. Cool. Let's make that so you can see here. Let me close that. Alright, and then we make this bigger like so. Oh, I see. Yeah, there it is. And there's your March. That's November. Alright. Oh, I see. Yeah. I guess I can try. Let me see if I can get a monthly in there. We'll go back. Monthly. No, just go. I see what you're saying. Yeah. Goes back to 21. How about that? They're really taking out that stuff. And I guess if we put gold up on the screen, let's see if we can do that. And we go back to gold. And gold must be like higher. Like that. No, gold's kind of low too, isn't it? Gold's taking out that low of 21 just the way palladium has, right? Let's go back to the palladium. Right there. So that is the low of, what's that? That is March of 21. Let's see what palladium is. March is October of 21. What is that? That is September of 21. Okay. So we've taken out the low there and on gold. Oh, I see. It hasn't. Yeah, we're up higher. You're right. You're right. Look at that. It's higher up. Yeah. What is now palladium is do they use that for the catalytic converters or something like that? That and platinum, right? They both those things? Yeah, I see what you're saying. It's not old enough to be able to look at it, but one thing is for sure, it's not taking out gold is not taking out this low of October, and palladium obviously is. And there's the October low, and it's taking it out. So they're really pouncing on the palladium. Okay. Yeah, interesting. Very interesting. I guess it's a sign of weakness industrially, right? Globally? Wouldn't that be the best way? Or could it be literally that electric vehicles are starting to catch up? I doubt it. Because I only hear, like in the States here, only 3% of the vehicles on the road are electric. So it's not having that much of an influence over here. I mean, they talk about it, they dance about it, they make everybody excited, so forth and so on. But in the end, buckus. All right. Let's see. Would you like to see anything else? Want to take a look at silver while we're over in the metals complex? I have no problem jumping around like this. We can take a look at silver. Let's see what it's doing on Chicago Quant. Where are we at? Right there. There's palladium. Let's see what gold, like gold up there too. There's gold. Now gold is backing off, but it's not taking out those October lows. Let's see if we can scrunch this up. Not even close. There's the October lows there. Not even close. And then let's see what silver's doing. Silverado. Do, 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 do. Now Silverado is having its issues. I mean, there is let's see what the October low looks like there. Not taking out the Oct low either there. Now the Oct low there was 18 and change. And at least now we're still over the 20 area, so that's cool. As much as silver has been in a long sell-off since the 24-ish area, 2380s area. And, so it's down $2+ now. It's been in a daily sell. And at the same time, it was in a weekly sell. Boy, talk about a winner chicken dinner, huh? And then, like copper just goes sideways. Copper has no conviction whatsoever. It's just, ever since all the news came out in China, the Congress finished its Congress for the 5-year Congress, and then, it leaped up from 330 to like 390. and then they opened the economy again and it leaped up again from like 380 to like 430 or something like that. Let's take a look at that on both of them. So we'll put copper right there. And you can see copper had gotten up to the 430-ish area, 34, something like that. And over here, let's go to the daily. And let's put that in like so. Copper, copper, copper. Right there. And you can see, same situation. At that 436 there they have it. And then, it's been kind of stuck down there now. And there was the People's Congress kind of ended like, I think it was like right here where it says 330 in area. That was the end of the People's Congress. Then it kind of hesitated again and they opened the economy and you got that out of it. I guess the bigger question is, does it hold the $4 area, or does it fall back into the 390, 380s again right here? I would, you can see we're flirting with the weekly sell as we speak right there. So you can see that's a possibility that they knock it into the sell this time. And you can see the fast moving algorithm here broke down and went into a sell, was that 3 weeks back. And now the fast has joined in. They're both underneath the manifold. That'll be interesting to see if it starts to lift up through that manifold or if it stays down below. That could mean, we're going to see the 380s again. And so then, and I think we hesitated, went in and out. We went into did we go into a buy yesterday? Let me just double check it, what we sent out. And copper yesterday, and that's hogs. Copper. Yeah, it went into a buy yesterday. And now it's flirting with the sell again. With not much of a problem, which is amazing. The way they're slamming it down this morning. They're really taking the chunk out of here. So whatever strength they found over the last 2 days, buckus. It does have that manipulated look to it, doesn't it? Interesting. The weekly usually will hide the manipulated. We'll pick up the manipulated stuff, but the dailies, can sometimes it doesn't. All right. Then from there, I guess we've done the metals complex, so that's pretty cool. We can zip over to euros, take a look at some of the currencies, and I imagine they're matching up to the bond market. The bond market has been sideways to down now, and in daily sells, in the 30-year, the 10-year, the 5-year, so forth. I think they're flirting with the 30-year. The 30-year, I think they're reaching for it a little bit. Let's take a look at the 30-year. Let's go over to that. Let's cancel that, and let's go to the 30-year. Right there. Yeah, they were flirting with it. It's back underneath again, so we can get rid of that line. It's back underneath. It was pop. You can see it was much higher earlier. Now they're right underneath it. Now, when I look at the other two interest rate products that we follow, the where's it at? Right there. There's the 10-year. 10-year was not hesitating. It said like, no, thank you. You can keep that. No, thank you. And then same thing with the 5-year. The 5-year doing the same thing. Like, no, we're not even going to attempt to lift. So, with interest rates still rising, that's what this is. That when prices of bonds go down, gets interest rates go up. So we're basically at what is that? That's November, mid-November. We're breaking the mid-November rate, and we're heading down. It's still heading down. And you can see there that maybe they're going to the 106s. It's not that far off from the lows. And then from there we go over to what we compare that to. The euro. So let's go to the euro. So what happens is that when interest rates are rising in the States here, you get weakness in the currency pairs. in other words, the dollar gets some strength in it. But you can see here, it tried yesterday and failed. It was in a buy for a daily, popped, and then didn't go into a sell yet, but it's very close. It's still in a buy, but it's down for the day. And this is the more concerning thing to me is that the weekly, the fast-moving algorithm broke down 2 weeks ago. This is the third week now in a sell, whereas the slow-moving algorithm it had just broken down this week. Just missed it last week, and it's just moving down, and they're both getting smacked. So that's makes me cautious, very cautious. And then when you look at cable, Cable was really battling, holding on for a while. And where's that? The zero line. Now the zero line is right there. So it's still a third week in the sell. As much as it looked like they were really turning it up, but I think there was a lot of hope in Europe that that the inflation was not going to be as punishing. Say, let's put the cable up on J4X there. It's around here somewhere. GBP, there it is. No. Where's GBP? There it is, right there. And so you see that hesitation thing going on.
Lost.
That's like a triangle developing, and when you look at it here, it's that same thing. We got a triangle
Market data
thing
connection re-established.
Or that plateau I've been talking about. Just kind of hovering along since the beginning of December, end of November. And it kind of tells us that they don't have a direction. I think, there's a lot of, let's put it this way, there's a lot of money managers who think that the Fed is going to stop raising in March. So March will be like the last one. They'll be all excited, saying, we're waiting for the Fed to tell us this is the last one. Because their numbers are lagging indicators at the moment. So they're really starting to question themselves, like maybe they need to stop, not lower, but just stop and try to get a feel for it. And usually you get a topping in February. So maybe that's what we're seeing here now, is that they're trying to top the market out. And if they even get a breath of believing that the interest rates are going to stop rising, then that'll put a charge into the stock market. And the stock market's already had a really good move, so it's like, well, maybe it needs to digest a little bit. Maybe someone needs to take profits. Any of those things are a good possibility. I mean, I would think it's what it is. Let the profits take some profits. Make some money. Keep the money after you make the money. So yeah, that's where we're at here with cable. Then from cable we slide over to where's it at? Right there. There's the Swiss. The Swiss really, I thought, look at that big low yesterday. I thought, oh, okay, we're going into the sell, joining in with the weekly, and then the interest rate situation kicked out again. Interest rates, blame the rate, an interest rate situation. That's pretty much what it comes down to. Kicks out and goes, ooh, interest rates are rising again. Oh no, everybody tells us it's going down. March is the end. You keep on hearing that over and over again, and it just doesn't play out. Okay, and then from there we slide over to the yen. The yen has been, really lifting up, against the dollar, losing against the dollar, in other words. And you can see we've even slipped into a weekly buy at this point too. It's cleanly through the manifold. There's no doubt about it. We've been in the weekly buy with the fast-moving algorithm for a few weeks now. This is going on a third week, whereas last week the slow found a way to fall down. Oop, fall down, can't get up. But nope, it got it back up again, and it's zipping and doodowing up northwise. I'm not sure why we have just one green line there, or what that all about, but let's get rid of that. So this is the fourth day in the strength there. Now, brown cow. We'll go over to Mr. and Mrs. Turkish Lira. Hope everybody's trying to survive the calamity that they had. That's the Turkish Syrian earthquake uh, was a, was ignited by that large X-class flare that we had from the sun back last week. That's exactly it. Matter of fact, all of us in the electric universe side of the physics, we were like, "Uh-oh, somebody's going to take it on the chin." In other words, the Earth is rotating, the sun is rotating, the X flare blasts, and it was aimed at Earth, and we're like trying to calculate now the speed of the Earth's spin relative to the speed of the solar wind versus the speed of the flare. I remember when a when the photon or the light leaving the sun and coming to the Earth takes a little better than 8 minutes, but sometimes solar wind can take up to 2 days. So in other words, it's the light moves faster, and so way faster, obviously, 186,000 miles per second, or was it 200,000 kilometers per second, something like that. I think that's the ratio. 186,000 miles per second, or no, I guess it's almost like 400,000 kilometers per second. So, that's per second compared to the solar wind moves at, on average, about 400 kilometers. Not even, it's even less. It's like 250 kilometers a second. That's it. Just 250 kilometers a second. And whereas light leaves it at 186,000 miles per second is when you put it into kilometers, it must come out to be like 300,000 or something like that, or 325. And so that's much faster. 300,000 kilometers a second versus 300 kilometers a second. So we try to calculate how that X flare is going to affect the Earth, because it comes at us as a plasma. It does not come to us as a beam of light. So it takes days. And we knew that the Earth was going to get hit and we were going to have a nice big earthquake from it. We just didn't know exactly where. And then the calculations started coming in. It was going to be towards the Middle East, maybe Asia, and then it slammed into Turkey. So, all right, yeah, it's relatively easy to predict earthquakes because they come from the sun. The sun ejects X amount of plasma, or an open corona hole. Either one does it, and you end up getting an earthquake from it. All right, now from there we jump over to, oh yeah, there's Turkish lira still holding up as we speak. It's tried to get into the sell, but it's in a buy now for 3 days right there. Let's put the little green line in there. And we did slip into the weekly sell last week, was it? And the fast-moving the fast-moving algorithm dipped into it 3 weeks back. Right there, and I don't need to save it. Cancel. Let's just save it. There it is. Oh, I didn't change the color. Let me do that too. There we are. So let's save that. Save. There we go. All right, now from there we drift over to those other two currencies that we watch. The Canadian dollar and oil. Now let's take a look at oil. We'll put Brent up on the tape here. There's Brent. You see Brent is like doing that same thing. It's got that rising triangle thing going on. And then over here, there it is right there. Same thing there. Rising triangle. We just have it crushed down a little bit more. But there you go. You can see that. It's got that same thing going on. Where that's the low right there. And that's it right there. And then it's trying to get going. And In this case here, it's just like here, it hasn't taken out that high yet. And we're flirting with the daily sell today, as you can see right there. And at the same time, the weekly is doing the same thing. We are flirting with the weekly sell right there. And remove that. There we are. And so that's what's really going on, is the pressure is on. And I guess you could say is that we've been in that weekly sell here with the fast and the slow. And then, it never really confirmed itself so well with the old going in, but the fast, or let's say the slower going in, but the fast did not. Now the fast is up there now, and it's just right on the edge of getting into a buy. So we'll watch that. If this sells down today and tomorrow, what's today? Wednesday, right? It's hump day. So we got 2 more days to see what this action is. But if that fast starts to curve down or sideways more, then I would think that we're going to see a little bit lower. And you would think when you see palladium, the industrial situation with palladium, you would think oil would be somewhat of the same way. But unfortunately, it's a real supply and demand problem going on with the oil more than anything else in the production of it. Not the, how do you describe it? Not the other way around, It's the production of it that's messing things up. So, all right, and then let's see where we go from there. Let's go to the Canadian. So there's the Canadian. You can see the Canadian has been pressured down and trying to lift up here on the daily. And over here we're seeing probably close to the same thing. I thought it was in a buy. I might be wrong. Where's it at? Right there. Right there. There we are. Yeah. So it's been in the sell for the last couple of days, which normally puts the pressure on the Canadian itself. You usually see the Canadian, and that's the Canadian there. With the Canadian going down, normally oil is going up. That's usually the way it works. And in this case here, you can see it had been going up, but then yesterday it sold down a little bit. And now today, it's actually trying to get into the sell. So that it's doing the logic of it all. And the same thing with the Canadian itself, is that, the way it's bouncing up today is because the oil contract is heading down. And flirting with a weekly sell, no less. And with the fast algorithm, it's in the weekly sell. So it's not only is it flirting with that stuff, but it's it's doing it, it's showing us that weakness. Okay, let's see. From there, we go to. Let's see, where do we go from there? We go over to the South African Rand right there. And the Rand, playing with that top end of the range, has taken out all the political highs. It's making new highs inside that political. And if anybody on here is familiar with what's going on in the presidential situation in South Africa, I'd love to hear, because we're not really seeing much and not hearing much here. Their labor, our labor controls our party here, so that means the news media won't cover that stuff anymore. Let's take a look at, with that, we look at gold, and obviously with this thing rising, we expect to see gold falling, and we all know it has since we looked at gold 20 minutes ago. And there's the gold right there. And at the same time, where's Mr. Mouse? There it is. So you see, that sliding action right there. And that's that's the norm, with the South African Rand rising. And then let's put South African Rand right here. Right there. You see that rising up, and gold over here falling down. It's like, it's usually, it was until the political problem kicked out in South Africa. It was clockwork. The thing it was just pure clockwork. Whenever you saw the weakness in the webinar and you saw, strength in gold in the morning, I'd be like, you can sell that. You're going to see it come down in the afternoon. And sure enough, it would come down. It was definitely leading it. So, all right. Now, what do we got from here? Let's go over to the last one of all, and that is the right. Oh, that's right. Wrong thing right there. We're looking for the Mexican peso. All right, Mr. Mouse, find the peso. Right there. Whoop. Got one step past it. Right there. There we are. And you see we're at the bottom end of that range. And it's, I mean, this was the real range right here, where the 0.76 was. And you can see here it's playing with 161 back and forth. It hits it, comes up a little bit, challenges it again, comes up, makes a new high after making a new low, and now we're doing the same thing here, but this time are we going to see that new high? And you can see here the weekly has been since up in this area here, the fast moving Stoke has been in a sell, and now you see it tried to jump in to buy, but without the way I look at these anymore is that if the green or the slow moving is through the manifold, usually I trust that as a buy. But if I don't see it through there, I don't even think about it. I go forget about it. And you can see now the two of them are right underneath there. So, there's potential for this to get going on the weekly side on the upside again. Just like when it did it right there, where they start to get across together. And they had that plateau and they tried to battle it with the old resistance area and just failed at it miserably, making lows like that, which is positive for Mexico, negative for the dollar. Remember, when this thing goes down, it's gaining against the dollar. And so the dollar is losing very much so against the Mexican peso. Alrighty. So that concludes with our currencies. But if anybody wants to see anything particular, just yell and we'll put it back up there again. And this is the S&P 500. You can see it's just bouncing around. They got up to, what is that, the 40-ish area about an hour ago? Yeah, about an hour ago. And now they sold down about 14 handles. And you can see here, it lifted off, climbed up, like 20 handles. Now went down and played with it again. It's doing that back and forth stuff. You see we're developing, if this closes there like that, well, we got 13,973, so we got some work to do. But it looks like it could close minus here. And you can see it went into the plus right here, right before the big pop, or the pop, 10-point pop there. And then you can see here it went into the sell. When it went in the sell in the, the 47-ish area, and traded all the way down to the 20 area. The stock market, is more than any of the other products. I say, or let's put it this way, the stock market is definitely something that gets influenced enormously from many directions: earnings, inflation, interest rates. And then not counting the company itself having to a stock, of a company, they have to do something crazy like make money, right? If they don't make money or they don't bring in big cash, one or the other, people want to sell it. When they bring it in, they want to buy it. So, that's the whole action of following the stock market. And you can see here on our short term, we're just basically cruising along. What is that? Down 19 for today. When it's up at 40, I guess it closed around 45, something like that. So it got up close to the 45 and failed. That's really what it came down to. It got up to what, 41, 42? What's that high there? The high is 41.25. Yeah. All right. From that, I think I'm going to take a sip of tea. Does anybody want to see anything particular? I don't see Timothy coming in this morning. Timothy's really become involved watching those 15-minute British pound. So I think I'll put that up there. And this way, at least that he can look at it through the video. Let's go put it up there. Open Sesame. Yesterday's webinar gave me an idea how to get it to get it to whoever wants to see it free. Not free, live. You have to pay for it. But we have a better idea now how to do that. Right there, you can see that it's lifting. Went into a buy off of that one. This is the GBP. So you can see what we can see on the screen here. You can see it goes into the sell here. It does go down. Well, this is a 15-minute, or is this the spatial? I think that's the 1 minute. Let's go to the 15-minute. I find that to be much more funnish. So it goes into the sell there, slips into the buy here, lose dinero there. After all that wonderful money making action all the way down to here, give up very little of it, but still lose. And then what is that? That's does that go into a buy there? No, it's still in the buy there, and goes into the sell here, and it's another winner chicken dinner. So it takes care of what you gave up there. Well, actually, no, you went into the buy here, and he goes into the sell there. So it's almost like unchanged, but it challenged you. It actually challenged you, and you definitely didn't make much money out of it. It wasn't much of a loss either. Probably like it depends on how you set your stops. And then it goes into the sell, and then that's a nice winner. And it's still in the sell. It's been in the sell all the way down with these ziggy-zaggies. You know, one side of it, the fast side, lifts up, but the slow side does not. And then, you know, here it is still into the negatives. This time when it tries to go green dot, zippo, nothing, no action at all. So there's the 15-minute there. All right, and then from there we go back to the stocks. Let's take a look at the NASDAQ 100. They lifted that yesterday. It was one of them that was up. Right there. So we're going to buy for a second day. That weekly buy is having no complaints. Is this a 3.5? Wonder where. Let's put the see what the fast looks like in there. Style. Ding, 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 ding. Like that. There we are. Is that right? Yeah, that's a 3.5. Interesting. It's funny how it's mirror imaging this. Something's wrong here. Let's take a look at that again. Let's do that one more time. Oop. There we are. So let's go with this, like so. Oh, it's a 3. It's not a 3.5. Why does it say it's a 3.5? Huh. So if I turn that on and turn that, where's the 3? I just saw the 3, so I turn that off. There we are. Okay, that makes sense. So there's the fast breaking down and then lifting up here, climbing into the buy. That's why we have the buy in there, for that reason. And then it's been in there since. And it's still holding up, touching the top of the manifold, but nothing bad. You know, nothing bad at all compared to the S&P 500. Well, the S&P 500 is doing basically the same thing. It's just, you know, just touching the top of the manifold. We're not really, that's the thing, is we're not really seeing that selling. All we keep on seeing is an attempt to buy. Robin was talking about seeing a flag in there, thinking that, you know, we really got some strength to come. And, you know, you just have to think this. I have to think the same thing. You know, I mean, I agree with Robin. It's trying to flag and go up, and it's in that weekly buy. He said that to me yesterday. He was like, you know, I'm buying it with it. It's down in the hole. I'm buying some. I was like, yeah, smart. Yeah, and it you know, it's trying. It is trying, and the selling is failing, and which is curious, you know. Interest rates have such an effect. Inflation. I think we have PPI today, so that, I don't know. That could be in some ways another one of those statistics that come out right at the end of the webinar. When the PPI comes out, then all of a sudden, you know, the markets could get excited again. Ooh, we're excited. Me, we're excited. So, all right, where do we go from here? I guess we go to. Trying to think where we go from here. Oh, that feels good. Let's go to the Russell. Let's take a look at the Russell. Because that's the most speculative of all the stock indices at this point in time. So, Mr. Russell right there, the Russell 2000. You see that's also in a buy for a few days. And the weekly's not letting go there any more than it was willing to go on the other two products. And I think that the Dow tried to get into a sell last week, and I think it failed at it. I think it stayed in the buy. Let's go over and take a look at the Dow Jones Industrial Average. But let me just widen this out a little bit so we can appreciate it. So it goes into the buy right here. And what a nice little run that was. And then it goes into a sell right there. And it's putrid. Nothing there really. It goes down a little bit, makes a new low the next day, but nothing exciting. And now we're back into that buy again. Now we need to see this thing take off. And it's not doing that at the moment. But we'll wait and see. It's not counted out. And then from there, let's take a look at the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Yeah, last week it stayed in the buy. Did it buy? No, it closed in the sell. You see what I sent out last week? Yeah, no. Something's wrong there. Let's see, what are we looking at here? There it is. Let's move that down. So yeah, it stayed in the buy. See how the old was well up in there. So it's staying in the buy. But this week it is flirting again. But it's only 95 points. You know, talking about an index at, what is that? Trading at 33,983. If the thing jumps up to like 34,200, more than likely the weekly's back into the buy again. So, you know, we saw that going into like Thursday or Friday of last week. I think it was Thursday. I think it was Friday. We were down like 86, and the next thing you know, it closed up. So that is kind of like the flavor of it all. All right, so there's the indices. And we'll take a fun look again at the intraday itself. Where's that intraday? Right there. Is that it? No, that's, what is that? Oh, there it is, right there. There we go. So you can see it's still, look how dead it is. 10,000. We were looking at it, it was 10,000 before. It's ticking at like four and five contracts at a time. We're going to finally break through. There we go. 7 contracts trade. Now we're at 9,941. I mean, you know, this is going to be like, you know, will that bar finish before the news comes out? That's the bigger question. We got about 4 minutes to the news, and that could, you know, ignite the stock market again. So we'll see what that does, and you know, just watch and see. Whereas you can see here, the very short-term spatial is moving, trying to move up in here. Went into the buy here, and it's just bouncing along. Remember, with these intradays, we look at the red and greens just to indicate volatility, but you can be in a buy and in a red and green with no problem. Whereas on the dailies, we don't usually do that. We wait for it to settle. So you can see here, look how tight the manifold's getting too. The manifold's getting tight. The same thing over here, not as tight as here. So there's some action hiding in the, look at it. We're still at 9,000 plus contracts to trade, 9,300. I mean, literally the thing is moving at like 400 contracts a minute. That's it. It's quiet. So let's see, when it's at 26 minutes and 30 seconds after. Let's see when we get to 27 and a half minutes, and we were at 300 there. Let's see if they make it through the 9,000 mark. I mean, that's how slow this thing is moving. There we are at 85, 84, 74, 62, 61, 50. We're at 27 still. We got 21 contracts to go, 27 and 5 seconds, and it flipped. Okay, so it did flip about 25 seconds earlier. than we were thinking. Figured it would be in the nines. So let's see here. We're at 27:15 seconds, 17 seconds, 21, 23 seconds. Yeah, so it's moving about 450 contracts a minute. And we've got 2+ minutes to the news. So this should be a little fun. And notice the short term doesn't want to let go. They just keep on pushing. So I'd imagine there's going to be a pop and then a sell, that type of thing. Just because of the way it's been nibbled on. And we are still at, we're at, what is it now? We are at 27, and we're at 28 minutes now. And we are at 8,000. So this thing's not even going to break until we get the news. This thing's not going to break, create a new bar. But if it did do it there, it would be a negative and it would be a sell. That's what it's trying to tell us. So that now the daily, notice not the daily, the short term. Notice the short term now is flirting with the sell. With what do we got here? We've got a minute and a half. So this is the horse race. There we are. And we're still at 8,000 contracts on this. There we go. We finally busted into 7,000. 970 some odd contracts. And we've got a minute to go. So this will be interesting. Now look at that daily. I mean, not daily, the short-term one. It tried to get into the sell and failed at it. So someone is out there nibbling. They think that the news is going to be positive for stocks in the first few minutes here. Or a few seconds, I guess you could say. And let's see, waiting to see the news. We still got about less than a minute. Basically, we're under a minute at this point. All right, so what have we talked about today? Let's do that while we're waiting to see how the news comes out on the products here. I guess more than anything else is we're seeing the interest rates affecting the pairs a little bit more than I was expecting. But it is doing a fine job. Interest rates influence pairs, yeah. Exotic pairs in tick versus minutes. Excellent. Okay, good. And then the news is out now. Is the news out? What time is it? Nope. News is almost out. Another 10 seconds. There we go. Not even. There was the news. And so they sold it down. So let's see if they bring it back up. So they took it down about 8 handles. Now let's see if they try to lift it back up. And at the same time, the big 18,000 spatial contract is going to close in a sell. We've got 2,000 contracts to go. Unless they start to lift this back up to 4130, which doesn't look like it's going to happen. No big spike or anything like that. So 1,000 contracts to go on the right. There's 400, 300, 200, 100. There you go. New contract, and it closed in a sell. So let's see what kind of pressure that brings. And the daily, the shorter term one is in a buy, so you can't short it until the two of them line up. That's how we play this thing here. So now it's turning back up again. And let's see what that does. Now we're at 16,000. And obviously PPI says, let's see what it says here. IRS is proposing targeting waiters. And, oh, God. All right, so here comes the PPI. The actual numbers were. Let's see, where's it at? Still hasn't spit out. Here it comes. Still don't see the numbers. Why are they hesitating here? But you can see one thing is they're trying to lift back up. They're talking about the IRS proposal and targeting waiters and tips and so forth. Who? Okay, here we go. Finally, we're going to get the PPI. And the number was, let's see, let me raise the volume up on this. Month to month, it was up 3 point, producer price index went up 3.0. They were looking for an estimated 1.8. So, and they're not adjusted for inflation? I don't understand what that means. But why would they? Yeah, so the number was hotter, I guess you could say. January retail. Oh, no, yes. So the people are buying. That's what it's really coming down to. The retail sales, people are buying much more. The economy is not like in the hole, that type of thing, you know? And you can see to a great extent that the stock market is pretty much just at the lows of the last hour, I guess. Is that the lows of the last hour? Let's see. The low is, no, 116, was that? Yeah, so it made a new low. And now it's just hesitating. Yeah, they're saying that, because of the holidays and all like that, lifted the data more than anything else. January retail sales month over month was 2.3 versus 0.8. Not bad. So yeah, they've been purchasing and buying, and that's usually the sign of a happy stock market. People are willing to borrow more, take on more risk, so forth and so on. All right, now what do we call today's? We got to call this. We have to put a title on this. So what's the title today? Have to come up with something. Let's see. I would say that we're really still stuck with the fundamentals are controlling the markets. I think that's economic fundamentals. Are controlling. Controlling. Let's see, control. Economic fundamentals control markets. There we go. That's the title. All right, traders, we're out of here. This is Doc from North America. And we will talk to you all tomorrow on Thursday, which will be the day before Friday, which makes me happy. To a 3-day weekend. I will broadcast on Monday, of course. But no trading for the day for me, so that's cool. All right, so happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you, to all our trading friends. All right, later, traders.